Praised be Jesus and Mary. One of the most beautiful series of apparitions of Our Lady occurred in Central America only 10 years after the Spanish conquest. It was the December of 1531. There was a fervent Christian Indian, Juan Diego. And he and his wife would go to Mass every Saturday in honor of Our Lady, and although at this time his wife had died, he was a widower, and he was on his way continuing the custom of honoring Our Lady on Saturday by attending Mass. He would walk 8 miles to Mexico City, and on one particular day, as he was passing the hill at Tepeyac, he heard birds singing, and it just captivated him. And looking up to the hilltop, he noticed a brilliant cloud, and his fear was transformed into joy when he heard a voice, a very soft, gentle voice calling his name, Juanito, come. And when he reached the hilltop, he saw a beautiful lady surrounded by a radiance so brilliant that it sent out rays. And he said it seemed to transform the very rocks into sparkling jewels. She asked, "Where are you going, my child?" And he said, "To St. James, to hear Mass sung by the minister of the Most High God in honor of the Mother of our Savior." And the lady said, "That is good, my son. Your devotion is pleasing to me, as also the humility of your heart. Know then that I am that Virgin Mother of God, author of life and protector of the weak. I desire that a temple be built here, where I will show myself to be your tender mother, the mother of your fellow citizens and of all who invoke my name with confidence. Go to the bishop and tell him faithfully all that you have seen and heard." So Juan Diego continued on his way, and the bishop, Monsignor Juan de Zamaraga, a Franciscan, heard him kindly. He asked him questions, but he sent him on his way without any promises. And disappointed, Juan Diego, as he was passing the hill, once again found the lady that seemed to be waiting for him there, as though to console him, and he excused himself for the failure of his mission. But Our Lady only repeated her desire to have a temple built on that site, and told him to return again to the bishop. And this he did the following day, begging the bishop to fulfill the desires of Our Lady. And the bishop said, if this is the Most Holy Virgin who sends you, she must prove it. If she wants a church, she must give me a sign of her will. So on his way home, Juan Diego found Our Lady again waiting, and she said to him, "Come back tomorrow and I will give you a certain mark of the truthfulness of your words." So the next day, Juan Diego found his uncle very sick at the point of death. And so he wasted no time in leaving to go to find a priest in the city. And he thought, well, if I go through this path, Our Lady's going to detain me. So he went around the long way. He thought he would go the long way, which would actually be quicker since he wouldn't be detained. But Our Lady appeared to him there. And said, do not be anxious, Juanito, because of your uncle's illness. Don't you know that I'm your mother and that you are under my protection? At this moment, your uncle is cured. Then Juan Diego said, well, please give me the sign that you told me of. So Mary told him to come up to the hilltop and to cut the flowers that he would find there. And those flowers were Castilian roses. The bishop was from Castile, Spain, and that's only where Castilian roses grow. And they were not only growing in Mexico, but they were growing in December. And so Juan Diego found the most beautiful of the roses and chose the most fragrant ones for Our Lady. And she herself arranged them in the fold of his tilma, saying, take these roses on my behalf to the bishop. This is the certain sign of my will. Let there be no delay in raising here a temple in my honor. So Juan Diego, with joy, continued on to the city, to the bishop's residence, where he had to wait nearly all day long in the antechamber. And when he was finally admitted to the bishop's presence, he opened his cloak, and the fresh flowers fell on the floor. And, that was not the only sign, because we know on his cloak there was imprinted a beautiful image of Our Lady, which remains to this day in the basilica in its original state. And Juan did find his uncle cured that evening, and he heard him relate that Our Lady, had cured him, and said to him also, may a sanctuary be raised for me under the name of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And the bishop lost no time in having a small church built at the hill of Tepeyac. And Juan Diego himself, near there to answer the questions of all the pilgrims. And, the Franciscans were having a difficult time. They had already baptized over 1 million Indians, but in no time at all, there were 6 million converts. Just the Indians would just look at the image of Our Lady, and they could tell, she was standing before the sun, which meant she was greater than the sun god, and she was standing on the moon, which meant she was greater than the moon god, and she was wearing blue, which meant she was a virgin, and she was wearing a black ribbon on her wrist, which meant she was with child, and she was garbed as an Aztec princess, but yet she was humble. She had her head lowered. And so she was not divine, but they didn't need any catechism. The picture taught them all they needed to know. That she was their mother, and she is our mother. So, and she's been named patroness of the unborn. So let us, because during Juan Diego's day, he lived in a culture of death as well. Human sacrifice. And Our Lady put an end to that. And she can put an end to the Holocaust that we're in today. But we need to continue our prayers and sacrifices. And trust in Our Lady.